This is the best take I have seen on AI. Worst. Best of the worst.
Critical independent work is a use it or lose it ability. And that when you become overly reliant on generative AI, you lose that ability permanently.
Ironically, the only thing this video proves is that critical thinking is in danger, but not because of AI. If you're gonna warn people about the dangers of AI and critical thinking, you should probably use some critical thinking first. Someone makes a video talking about how you're gonna lose all of these cognitive skills like critical thinking if you become overly reliant on AI, and cites 2 studies to support this. Studies that they clearly have not read or understand, or I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, use critical thinking for? Chef's kiss. I can't stay quiet. I gotta say something. They get the quote from this article right. The quote is right, okay? This is a quote about hypothesizing that an over-reliance is going to lead to cognitive decline. The article does say that. They just missed this really important thing about the article. Do you catch it up here? It's not a study. It's an opinion piece. For those of you who don't know, that means it's not fact, it's an opinion. Yay, critical thinking. Maybe you missed the tag at the top. That's okay, because I'm sure you actually read the article. The way you're talking sure makes it sound like you did.
It's going to make you a much more efficient cog in the machine, and it is literally going to make you stupider. Literally. I am not exaggerating.
You're not exaggerating. You're lying. Or if I'm feeling generous, misspeaking. This opinion article investigates. These people had an hypothesis. They wrote an opinion piece about it. It could be investigated. Maybe, as this creator says, it really is use it or lose it. Not according to any of the studies that you cite. Just to be clear, it's according to an opinion piece. Critical thinking just let that one slide right by. That wasn't the only study cited. There was another one. This one right here, Impact of Generative AI on Critical Thinking. This is a self-report study of 319 people. I think that's kind of important context, 319 people. Let's not make any sweeping conclusions based on that, okay? More importantly, did these studies show that your ability to problem solve or think creatively or use critical thinking or use it or lose it? No. In fact, if we want to cherry pick things out of an article, I'm just gonna call your attention to this fun little sentence. This suggests that knowledge workers who already engage in critical thinking in their work are likely to continue doing so, even when using Gen AI tools. Well, golly, now that sounds like the opposite of what you were trying to scare us all into believing. This study doesn't find that you lose your critical thinking skills. It finds that you use them differently in different contexts if you're using Gen AI. But perhaps most importantly, this study doesn't objectively measure critical thinking skills. It asks about your perception of your critical thinking skills. How much you think you're using your critical thinking skills. Okay? Does that type of study lead to being able to say things like your brain is never going to recover from using AI? No. Because it's not even about what's really happening in your brain. It's about what you think is happening in your brain. Their whole takeaway from the article is that we just need to think differently about how we teach people to use AI. It isn't not to use it. It's not that your brain's going to turn into mush if you use it. I just like to make such an impassioned argument and cite research and studies to warn people out of the goodness of your heart that they are not the exception. And if they use AI, their brain is doomed.
If you regularly use generative AI, I just want to talk to you for 1 minute, because I think there's something you don't know.
I think there's something you don't know. So anyways, I use AI all the time. Still thinking critically, brain still seems to be working pretty good. Look, maybe our brains will work and look super different because of generative AI. I don't know. We should study it. We should be mindful of it. I am saying we shouldn't weaponize research to scare people, especially if you haven't read or understood it. Maybe what we should actually be teaching isn't fear of AI, but how to read a method section. ChatGPT told me to say that.